here's some operating systems. Let's talk a little bit about that before we move on. Now, if you want to pick an OS that is not Windows, for the most part, if you're kind of dumb and you want something that's not very hard, you could try Linux Mint. That's a pretty good introductory, easy to use Linux distro. As long as you're on Linux, it's worlds away. It's worlds better than being on Windows or whatever. And yeah, Linux Mint is fine. There's other options too. A lot of people will say Ubuntu, and Ubuntu, I don't know, Ubuntu's kind of gay. Once upon a time, they were tracking user data, and that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So I don't like Ubuntu. It's kind of gay. Linux Mint is slightly less gay. It's easy to use. But if you're super like into privacy and security and all that crap, and you're willing to have like a little bit of a learning curve, like I'm not talking super complicated here, okay? But just like power user, you're a power user. You're not a grandma. You're a power user, at least, and you're into privacy and security. You should most assuredly go for Qubes OS. That's Qubes, Qubes OS, and just read up on it and just figure out how to use it. It's very good. It uses VMs, virtual machines, to isolate the different things you're doing from each other, which has all sorts of benefits for your privacy and security. It's really cool. It's really the way to go. If you want the most privacy without doing anything crazy. And if you want a forgetful operating system just to boot up on some random computer and hopefully not leave anything behind, you can check out the good old-fashioned Tails OS, Tails, Tails OS. It's meant to be like a live CD thing that you boot up on some random ass computer or whatever, and then you don't leave any trace or whatever, like kind of a temporary environment. Not really for everyday use, but sometimes it comes in handy. And if you're a power user, and so you don't need an easy Linux distro like Linux Mint, but for some reason Qubes OS doesn't work for your use case, you can check out MX Linux. I'm kind of a fan of that distro. MX Linux is kind of a cool thing these days. If you care about reliability more than compatibility, or you want to try something that's not Linux, try FreeBSD. BSD is kind of it's more reliable than Linux, really. And if you're very autistic, or you want security through simplicity with high reliability and low compatibility, check out OpenBSD. OpenBSD is good for a router. If you're like a technically minded person, you want to set up a router or firewall, or you want something very reliable and simple, OpenBSD is a good place to start, I'd say. Encryption at rest. This kind of came up earlier. Encryption at rest. You want full disk encryption. So let's talk about that for a second. If you're on Qubes, Qubes will make you set up full disk encryption. It doesn't even let you not do it. So you just need a good passphrase. Tails will either store nothing at all, or it will store it on an encrypted volume, which you can set up. For the other Linux distros and BSDs, you want to make sure that when you're installing it, you find the encryption setting when you're installing it and you select it. So just think about that. If you're going to install Linux Mint or fucking Debian or something, or FreeBSD, you just go through the guide and make sure you know where the encryption setting is, the hard drive encrypt, whatever full disk encryption setting is. They might not call it that. Or you can look up a guide or something. There are distros where you have to do it manually. If you're not technically minded, don't bother. But there are distros that make it easy to set up full disk encryption during the installer, as long as you don't miss that option. I think in Linux Mint, it's easy to do. For ReviOS Windows, get something called VeraCrypt, VeraCrypt, and go through the wizard for encrypting your whole system drive. They have a little option in VeraCrypt for that, and it'll walk you through it. It's pretty easy to do. Now, however you encrypt things at rest, learn what diceware is, what a diceware passphrase is. DICEWARE. Look that up. Learn what a diceware passphrase is. And make your passphrase a 6-word long diceware passphrase. Forget all that shit about uppercase letters and lowercase letters and numbers and symbols. That's all stupid. Everybody knows it's stupid. Everybody who knows anything. It's a good way to make a password that's easy for a computer to guess and hard for the user to remember, which is the opposite of what you want. But diceware passphrase are easy to remember, hard for a computer to guess. It can all be lowercase words, no spaces, doesn't matter. As long as you're consistent and you know what you're doing, how you're writing the diceware passphrase, just make it like six words long, let's say, for your hard drive or whatever. Sounds long, but if you want to do it, if you want to type it in faster, cut it down to the first 4 characters of each word. Okay, so there you go. 4 characters times 6. What is that? 48 letters? Did I do that math right? 4 times 6. Or no, wait, I'm retarded. 4 times 6 is 24. I did it for, well, whatever. You can do the math yourself, okay? This isn't a mathematics podcast, all right? We're not here to make you scratch your head, because some of the listeners here are zombies in this Halloween season. And while they hunger for brain matter, they may not have much to speak of. So we're not here to give you a bunch of math problems. Okay, 4 times 6 and all that. This isn't a university class, okay? Just use 6-word dice for a passphrase. You can use the first 4 characters of each word if you want it to be faster. Just fucking do it, okay? Because Thane Riddle said so. If you want to understand it for yourself, figure that out for yourself. And if you have more drives and partitions other than your system drive or partition, you should likely encrypt those too. One way to do this that's not very hard is with Veracrypt. And Veracrypt, by the way, is on Linux too. So yeah, on Windows, maybe you use it to encrypt the system drive, but you can use it to encrypt anything, any partition, you can make a fucking encrypted volume in a file, whatever. You can do it on Windows or Linux, or you can encrypt something. You can have an external drive that you open on ReviOS Windows operating system and on a Linux operating system using Veracrypt. So it's kind of portable. There you fucking go.
All across the country, the people are awakening. Politicians are quivering and shaking. They fear a population that is not docile. They are afraid, so they will